Hello, Sharpie fourth graders. This week we are getting into division. All right, this week we're getting into division. We're still going to be reviewing multiplication when you're meeting with me, and you might have some practice questions on multiplication still, but this week and for the next week or two, we're going to be focusing on division, and we're going to get harder and harder as we go. But today we're going to kind of just settle on into division, okay? We're going to be thinking about things that you probably already know, which is great. If you don't know them, that's okay too, okay? This is our intro to division for today. So we're going to start off with dividing a two-digit number by a one-digit number using an array. We've used arrays before in math. You've used them probably even this year. We looked at arrays last week when we were looking at our factors and trying to figure out if numbers were prime or composite. So we're going to use arrays today to kind of help us with our division. Now, eventually you don't want to use arrays because eventually you'll have much bigger numbers and you don't want to have to draw all those things out. All right. Same thing for if you were doing like 134 times 8. You wouldn't want to do that. You wouldn't want to draw an array for that. You could, but it would just take a very long time. Okay. So today we're going to use arrays to kind of get us settled in to what we're looking at, so that way we can visually see and understand what's going on. All right. So I'm going to set up a scenario for us. There are a total of 12 students in the gym. All right. And the coach wants to put those 12 students in groups of 4. How many groups is he going to have, or the coach going to have? Okay. So again, there's 12 students in the gym. He wants them to put in groups of 4. How many groups is that going to be? Now, you might be able to do this already because you know your basic facts. Because the opposite of division is multiplication. So you might know, well, I know that 4 times, I'm not going to say the answer yet, 4 times gives me 12. Well, we're going to take a look at what an array is going to look like. Okay, so 12 is our dividend. All right, you probably hear me say that word some. So 12 is the dividend. 4 is the divisor. We're trying to find our quotient. So again, 12 students in gym. Coach wants to put them in 4 groups. How many groups is that going to be? All right, so we're going to have a total of 12 in our array. But they're in groups of 4, okay? So each of my little circles that I'm going to draw is going to represent a student. Remember, there's 12 students. So I'm going to start off, but as I'm doing this, I'm going to make them in groups of 4. I'm going to just go ahead and do that. So it takes me a little thinking here, a little bit of counting, but let's just do that. So we got 1 student, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 students. So there's my first group. And I'm grouping them together. So I'm going to keep going. 5, 6, 7, 8. There's another group. 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's my 12 students. They are in groups of 4. How many groups did I just make? 1, 2, 3. So remember, when you're finding the quotient, you're looking for the groups that it made. So if I wanted to say this, 12 students were put into 4 groups, were put into groups of 4, and it made a total of 3 groups. Okay? Now, division is the opposite of multiplication. So to check a division problem, we can use multiplication. You just go the opposite way. So there are 3 groups. Each group has 4 students. How many total students is that? 3 times 4 equals 12. So again, there are 3 groups. There are 4 students in each group. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many total students is that? 12. So to check division, we use multiplication. We're going to do that today. All right. Now let's change our scenario up for a second. Okay? Let's say that a new student is added in. So coach has been getting used to only having 12 kids in the class and putting them in groups of 4. Well, now, let's say that there's 13 students that are put into the class. Coach still wants to put them in groups of 4. Let's see what we get here. So again, 13 students, a total of 13 students, putting them in groups of 4. So I'm going to start off the same way that I just did my last problem. We've got 13. I'm going to put them in groups of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Circle it. There's my first group. Still looks pretty good. 5, 6, 7, 8. There's my second group. 9, 10, 11, 12. Remember, it's not 12 though, it's 13. So now we have 13 divided by 4. Well, what does that equal? Well, how many total whole groups did we just make? Well, we still made 1, 2, 3 groups. But we don't have enough to make another group. We would have to have 1, 2, 3 more students join the class to make another group of 4. So what this is letting us know is that we're going to have 3, and we're going to use this word now, remainder, that means left over, 3, remainder, 1. Okay, 3, remainder, 1 is our answer. So that would mean that we would have 3 groups of 4, and then there would be 1 person that wouldn't be in a group of 4. Okay? So again, 13 divided by 4 equals 3, remainder, 1. So 1 student is not in a group of 4. Now remember what I said last time. To check a division problem, we're going to use multiplication. So there are 3 groups of 4 students. So 3 times 4 equals 12. But remember, it's not 12, it's 13. So how can we go from 12 to 13? Well, you're probably thinking, well, Mr. Jensen, all you got to do is add 1. That's right. We add our remainder back. So 12 plus 1 is 13. That is the total amount of students that we had in this, okay, in the gym at that point. We had a total of 13 students. They were put into groups of 4. So that means you can make 3 groups of 4 with 1 left over. All right? Remainders are very important to realize that, okay? We would need a total of, we got 13, 14, 15, 16 students to make another full group of 4. But we don't have that. All right? So that's what we're going to kind of be working on today. We're going to look at some other word problems and be checking out and setting up arrays and then solving it. Okay? Again, this might be easier for some of you. That is great. That is awesome. But that's why we're starting off with our pictures, to just kind of help everybody visualize what's going on in these word problems. All right, here's our next one. There are 19 identical socks. Uh-oh. Sounds like Mr. Jensen doing some laundry here. There are 19 identical socks. Identical means exactly the same. So same color, same size. Identical means exactly the same. If you've ever heard somebody has an identical twin, that means they have somebody that looks just like them. Okay? There are 19 identical socks. How many pairs of socks are there? Will there be any without a match? So, identical means exactly the same. That's an important word. And pairs. Pairs is also important because pairs means 2. Okay? If you have a pair of socks, that is 2 individual socks. Okay? So, we're going to do our drawing with this. Alright, so it says there are 19 identical socks. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with that. 19 identical socks. Sometimes I do this and I kind of cut it. So it just makes me concentrate on just this part. There are 19 identical socks. Okay, so I know that there's going to be a total of 19 socks. how many pairs of socks are there? Cut. So I'm putting them in groups of 2 because it's pairs. And then it says, will there be any without a match? Okay. So let's go ahead and start drawing my 19 identical socks, but putting them in pairs. And remember, pairs is 2. So 1, 2. Here's a pair of socks. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And I'm just going to go below. Doesn't really matter as long as I keep doing that, putting them in their groups. So right now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs of socks. Okay? And a total of 10 socks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay? So, let's do this question first. How many pairs of socks are there going to be? Remember, pairs, putting them together, 2 socks equal a pair. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pairs of socks. Nine pairs of socks. I can't say that there's 10 pairs of socks because this little guy is all by himself. There's not enough to make another pair. So, for that next question, will there be any without a match? Yes. There is 1 without a match. Okay? So we would have to either get rid of it for there to be exactly 9 pairs, or find that other sock to make another pair, which would have been 10 pairs of socks. But yes, we are without a match. Okay? Old dryer monster. Got it. Let's take a look at our next word problem. Alright, so this one says the library has 27 chairs and 5 tables. If the same number of chairs is placed at each table, how many chairs can be placed at each table? Any extra chairs? Will there be any extra chairs? Alright, so let's take a look at it. The library has 27 chairs. Remember I told you I kind of cut it sometimes. And 5 tables. If the same number of chairs is placed at each table, how many chairs can be placed at each table? Okay, so I know that there's a total of 27 chairs, and I know that there are 5 tables. So I'm going to start off with having my 27 chairs, okay? And I know that there's going to be 5 tables. All right, so this array might look a little different because I know that there's 5 tables here. Okay, so I'm actually going to do my 5 tables. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now the library has 27 chairs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide out those 27 chairs to the 5 tables. But I'm going to do it evenly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Those little black dots are the chairs. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. Now I'm going to stop there because that's 25. If I go 26, 27, am I going to have enough to give it evenly? No. So 27 divided by 5 equals 5. Excuse me, equals 5. Again, 5 chairs at each table. Any extra chairs? Yes, there's going to be remainder 2. 2 chairs that are left over. All right. So I'm going to do another video as well for you to watch right after this.